What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the hammer, revolver, and shredder shotgun that have been added to the loot pool as a result of the community reaching enough progress on the faction rivalries. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below what you think of these weapons, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolvedJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So we're going to start off with the hammer revolver, because the super shredder shotgun has been in the game since the update came out, and I've already talked about it a few times on the channel. So with the hammer revolver, as you would expect from a revolver, this is a high damage weapon with body shots ranging from 57 to 66 damage depending on rarity, and headshots ranging from 114 damage to 132 damage depending on rarity. The numbers I listed are the green, and then the higher version is the gold. So 66 body damage for the gold, 132 headshot damage for the gold. And as you would also expect from a revolver, it only has 6 rounds and then you have to reload. And this does use heavy ammo, and finding heavy ammo can be a bit of a struggle at times this season, especially in the early game. The fire rate is actually faster than what you would normally see for revolvers at 2.25, and it is fully automatic, meaning that you can just hold down the fire button and it will just shoot out shot after shot after shot. You don't have to like tap it every single time. And the accuracy on this revolver is really nice, even when jumping, which is something that matters a lot this season, and something I was kind of worried about with this weapon. If it had like a large jumping penalty, it'd be weird to use. But with this season, a lot of fights play out in the air because of the 7 power gloves, and you know, the way zero build plays, a lot of times you'll be like overdrive nading onto somebody or jumping around in a fight. So having good jumping accuracy is really important this season, and you can glove up in the air and shoot people with this just fine. You're not going to have perfect accuracy like the Thunderburst has, but it's accurate enough that you can land shots. And this revolver I think is really good. You know, a gold version can 2-tap a full health opponent in zero build if you hit both shots to the head, right? It is really good, and it is very satisfying to use. But for what I enjoy using this season and how I want to play, this revolver didn't really fit my inventory that well, because I preferred to just use 2 weapons. That way I can carry double mobility, so like the 7 power gloves and overdrive grenades, and a healing item. And using just this and a shotgun, the ceiling can be really high. If you hit a decent pump shot or a decent chaos shotgun shot, and then swap to this revolver and headshot the enemy, that's probably just the kill right there, right? Pretty much instant. But it can also be very unforgiving in that if you miss a shot or two, or, you know, swap back in time where it isn't ready to shoot yet, it could be a struggle. So if your shotgun shot isn't that great, or if you miss a shot or two with this revolver, you're probably just going to straight up lose the fight. And with the chaos shotgun being so good and only having 1 shot, I like having a spray weapon that is a little more versatile and a little more adaptable in case I do miss that shot or hit bad damage on that shot. Something like the Thunderburst SMG or regular pistol, you can melt people just straight up with that thing up close, and it works out really well, even if your shotgun shot misses or isn't the greatest. So the ceiling on this pistol and shotgun combo is really high, but the floor is also really low. And so it's a very unforgiving setup, and for that reason, I just don't see myself using it very much. If you like using single mobility, I could see a world where this weapon is very usable and very good, and as I said, it is very satisfying, so I get why somebody would want to use it. But if you like using double mobility, I think it's somewhat hard to justify the use of this unless you're just going to be perfect with every shot, and in that case, you know, shotgun and this will work out very well for you. But for most players, you're probably going to be better off with the Thunderburst SMG or the pistol. So it's a nice weapon. It's something I wouldn't mind getting off spawn, but it's not something I see myself like consistently using every game, even though it is very good. And there is supposed to be a mythic version of this that could be dropped from the Zadie boss. If you've ran into her since the update has been out and she wasn't dropping anything, that's why. I'm not sure if Fortnite actually enabled the mythic version to be dropped by her yet. We might have to wait a few days for that to happen. But at some point, there will be a mythic version from the Zadie boss. So revolver is good. Probably not meta for most players, though. The super shredder shotgun, as I said, we've had in the game for a few days. And Fortnite actually nerfed this shotgun yesterday before it even came out. And the version that we got in the loot pool is the nerfed version. So it will do 81 damage on the blue version, 85 damage on the purple version, and then 89 damage on the gold version of this. And I don't know what the damage cap is for all rarities, but with yesterday's changes, the blue version now has a max damage of 150. So it wouldn't surprise me if the purple is 155 and then the gold 160. And so a lot of people were hyping this shotgun up a lot the day of the update when you could get it from an NPC. The nerfed version of it is still fine, but it's not as absurd, and I think a lot of players probably are going to prefer something like the Chaos Shotgun, the Iron Pump, or maybe even one of the spammy shotguns we have. So this is a interesting weapon. It's a high range, kind of mid to low damage shotgun. As I was just listing off those numbers, you probably heard blue max damage of 150, and you thought the Chaos Reloader can do that with body damage, right? So the ceiling on damage isn't very high, but what you get is a lot of range and what should be a lot of consistency. And that's a kind of, it can be consistent because when you aim in, the pellet spread is very minimal. And so if you hit your shot while aimed in, you're going to do very good consistent damage. But the accuracy while hip firing is not the greatest. And so if you're hip firing this shotgun a lot, you're probably not going to be hitting for very much damage at all. It's a weapon that rewards you aiming in a lot. And so most of the time you're going to want to aim in. And if you've watched my videos, you probably know that I recommend not aiming in with shotguns most of the time because it can lead to certain problems where it's harder for you to track the enemy or it's harder for you to respond to enemy movement. And in a season that has this much movement, that could be a bit of a problem. But this shotgun does also pair well with the movement in the sense that it has a lot of range, so you can, overdrive nade at somebody and hit a decent shot or two with this shotgun while you're on the way to them, or you can glove up and then shoot down with the shotgun. And if you, hit a good ADS shot, you'll probably get good solid damage. But most of the time with how this plays, the range is nice and it's better than a lot of the other shotguns. But I look at that and I say, like, I probably could do the same thing with the Thunderburst SMG, especially since it has perfectly accurate hip fire. So I like using the Thunderburst SMG a lot this season, and the way a burst weapon plays, I feel like kind of plays somewhat similar to a long range shotgun in the sense that, like, you can be peeking for a fraction of a second or have your aim on target of the enemy for a very minimal amount of time and deal a lot of damage if you hit that entire burst. And so a lot of the benefits of having a ranged shotgun where you can kind of play from behind cover and then peek for a very limited amount of time, shoot a shot, go back into cover, you could do the same thing with the burst. The situations I outlined where, like, you shockwave onto somebody and hit shots while you're on the way to them, you could do the same exact thing with the Thunderburst. You glove up and then you're shooting down. You could do the same thing with the Thunderburst and then combo that with a more high damage potential shotgun like the Chaos Reloader shotgun or the Iron Pump. So there definitely will be a lot of people that like this Super Shredder shotgun, but for me, I think I would prefer to use one of the other high damage shotguns because you get the benefit of having that high damage shotgun swap to the spray, and then that Thunderburst has pretty much all the benefits that this shotgun has anyways. So I don't really see myself using it that much for that reason, but it is a solid weapon. It is a fun weapon. I'm sure a lot of people will like it, especially if you do like those high damage shotguns and you are someone who aims in a lot with shotguns. It's just an archetype of weapon that I don't really prefer, and we have one of the most, like, raw damage potential shotguns in the loot pool that we've ever had in Fortnite, and the Chaos Reloader shotgun. So I think if you use this, if you don't play very safe, you're just going to get destroyed by the Chaos Reloader. In actual, like, close range shotgun fights, this shotgun isn't that great. But that is going to be it for these items that were added to the... Oh, one final thing I wanted to say. For some reason, you can't upgrade the Super Shredder at the rivalry boards, and this is probably a bug that will change at some point, so maybe of the time you see this video, it's already been fixed. But when I was playing today, I couldn't upgrade the Super Shredder shotgun for some reason, so that was unfortunate. You can upgrade the pistol, but the Shredder just couldn't be upgraded. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.